It's 3:14 in the afternoon. You're mid-sentence, typing an email, and the screen just dies. No warning, no flicker, nothing. You glance at your phone, dead too. Not out of battery dead, just blank. And then you notice something worse. Every light on your street just went out. Traffic signals gone. The hum of the fridge you never even noticed until right now. Silent. This isn't a local outage. This is everywhere. Every country. Every grid. Gone, all at once. Before we go any further, hit that like button and hit subscribe right now, because this is the kind of video you're going to want to come back to. Trust me, once we get into hour 12, you're going to want to know what happens next. So here's what we're doing today. We're walking through the first 72 hours of a total, worldwide blackout. Not the movie version, the real version. What actually happens to your body, your neighborhood, your food, your water, and your sense of safety when the entire planet goes dark at the same time. No power grid, no cell towers, no internet, nowhere to check the news, nowhere to hide from what's coming. Let's get into it. Hour 1. The first hour is almost peaceful. Weirdly enough, people assume it's temporary. You check your phone out of habit every few minutes, forgetting it's dead. Neighbors step outside, phones in hand, that confused half-smile on their faces. The anyone else having this problem look. Somebody's car radio still works because it's not plugged into anything. That's when the first real piece of information trickles through. This isn't just your street. It's the whole city. Then someone with a battery radio picks up a broadcast from another country, and the room goes quiet. It's not just the city. It's everywhere. Hours 2 through 6. This is where the mood shifts. Grocery stores are the first place people run to, and cash becomes the only currency that matters, because every card reader, every ATM, every digital payment system on Earth just became a paperweight. Registers are hand-cranked or abandoned altogether. Shelves start clearing, not because people are panicking yet, but because instinct kicks in before logic does. Gas stations can't pump fuel without electricity, so cars start lining up at stations that still have a working generator, and those lines get long, fast. By hour 6, hospitals are running on backup generators, and those generators have a shelf life measured in days, not weeks. Anyone on a ventilator, anyone relying on refrigerated medication like insulin, anyone with a device that needs charging, their families are already doing the math in their heads. Quietly, not saying it out loud yet. Hours 6 through 24. Night falls, and this is the first time most people alive today experience true, total darkness in a city. Street lights, porch lights, phone screens, the soft glow of a television left on in the next room, all of it gone. Just stars. More stars than most people have ever seen in their lives, actually, because there's zero light pollution left to block them. It would almost be beautiful if it weren't terrifying. Community starts forming fast in some neighborhoods. People pooling flashlights, batteries, food. In others, it goes the opposite direction. Doors get locked that never used to be locked. Someone starts a fire in a backyard just for light and warmth, and within an hour, 3 other families are doing the same thing on the same block, like muscle memory from a version of humanity that hasn't needed to do this in generations. By the 24-hour mark, one question is on everyone's mind, whispered from house to house, because there's no news to confirm or deny it either way. Is anyone coming to fix this? And if not, how long can we actually survive without it? That's where we're going to pick things up in the next part, because hour 24 is really where things start to change. Day 2 is where the illusion of temporary completely falls apart. People stop asking when the power's coming back and start asking what happens if it doesn't. Water is the first real crisis. Most city water systems rely on electric pumps to keep pressure in the pipes. Without that pressure, taps start sputtering, then trickling, then nothing. People who never thought twice about turning a tap are suddenly staring at an empty glass, doing math they've never had to do before. How much water is actually in the house right now? And how long does that need to last? Toilets that rely on municipal systems stop working properly. Water heaters go cold and stay cold. Some families remember the water sitting in their pipes and their hot water tank and start rationing it out like it's gold. Because at this point, it basically is. Food is right behind it. Refrigerators have been silently keeping things safe for about 24 to 48 hours on residual cold. But that window is closing fast. Meat, dairy, anything that needs to stay cold. It's either eaten now or thrown out. Neighborhoods start smelling like barbecue everywhere. Not because it's a celebration, but because everyone's doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Cooking everything before it spoils. It's oddly communal. People who've lived next to each other for years, barely nodding hello, are suddenly sharing grills and swapping stories over food that's about to go bad anyway. By day 2, hospitals are in real trouble. Generator fuel is running low, and there's no way to refill it because the fuel trucks themselves can't get gas either. Doctors start making impossible choices about who gets the generator power and who doesn't. Families with elderly relatives on oxygen or diabetics counting the hours their insulin has left before it's no longer safe to use are living in a version of fear that most people watching this have never had to feel. Not fear of an event, but fear of time itself running out. Communication is almost non-existent by now. No cell towers, no internet, no way to check if your family 3 states away is even alive. People start relying on things that feel almost ancient. Handwritten notes left on doors, word of mouth traveling block by block, someone's grandfather's old ham radio suddenly being the most valuable object in the neighborhood. Information becomes currency, almost more valuable than food, because knowing what's happening even one town over could mean the difference between staying put and leaving. Then comes day 3. This is the tipping point. This is when people fully accept that help might not be coming soon, and that shifts everything. The ones who spent the last 2 days panicking start to calm down and get practical. The ones who stayed calm for 2 days start to crack, because the adrenaline wears off and reality sets in. Trust becomes the most important currency in every neighborhood. Who do you trust enough to share your last bit of water with? Who do you trust enough to watch your kids while you go find supplies? Who do you trust enough to sleep near? And here's the part that catches most people off guard when they really think it through. It's not the dark, and it's not the silence, and it's not even the hunger that breaks people fastest. It's the not knowing when it ends, not knowing if it's a local problem or a global one, not knowing if the people you love are safe. Humans can survive an incredible amount of hardship. What we're not built for is uncertainty with no end in sight. So if you made it this far, what would you actually do in those first 72 hours? Would you be the neighbor sharing the grill or the one locking the door? Drop it in the comments. I actually read every single one. And if this kind of scenario messes with your head the way it messes with mine, hit subscribe, because we're going a lot deeper into these what-if situations very soon.